Yo, what is up, everybody? How we doing today? Good to see you all once again. I'm going to tell you right now, we have got an iPad going today instead of my phone, so we had to move some settings around. Please do not hesitate to talk to me about sound, my volume, the game volume, all those things. Let's make sure that you guys get the best quality stream as possible. Yes, Zane, Rich is streaming right now. He's doing Team Galaxy, Team Liquid, and I am here with the Gems Tournament Group C today. You guys saw in the pre-match, the lineups, the matches. I'll bring those back up for you guys really quickly so we can take a look at all of them. So here we go. Let's take a look at the positions first. We got LA Esports. I'm going to need help with this second one. Esports Ryan Neckar. I want to just call him Earn, but I don't think it's my job to do that. So you guys let me know how to pronounce that. We got Clash Royale and, of course, Zero Zone Academy today, all playing against each other. And you saw the matchup. So the first match of the day is going to be this guy right here, Earn. Okay, they got it right there. They got Earn for me. So now I don't feel so bad going up against, as you just saw, Clash Royale. So they're right in the middle in the 2 and the 3 spots. They're tied at 3 points. And then our second match of the day is going to be LA Esports going up against Zero Zone Zero at the very, very bottom there. You saw 0 and 2, LA Esports at the very top, 2 and 0. So very, very excited to get going here today. Let me go take a look at, oh, that's loud. It's not what we wanted. Let's take a look here at the lineups and see if we're going to get going. Obviously, it's a best of 3. I'll pull myself back on camera here. It's a best of 3. We're starting off with 2v2, King of the Hill, and 1v1. All sets will have bans in them, and it's been really, really fun to see how the new how the new meta has been stacking up. You know, we saw yesterday, I think the biggest things that we saw yesterday was a massive, massive influx in the use of the Goblin Hut. We saw so many Goblin Huts and Brawlers out on the floor, and honestly, we saw so much work done by those Brawlers. They really, really, we saw them take towers, we saw them tank for bait, we saw them just be all around great defensive and offensive utility. Other things we noticed, we didn't see a lot of spawners. I'm pretty sure we saw maybe one Barb Hut. We saw the Stinky Cheese deck once, the Double Dragon Elixir Golem Battle Healer deck. It actually fell to bait, so that was really interesting and kind of fun to see. And it was a cool bait deck. It had Dark Prince, Rascals, it had Bandit, Princess, Gob Barrel, Dark Goblin, so it was kind of beefy, but also a ton of DPS. So we're just moments away from match number 1. Of course, it's going to be Earn against Clash Royale. And, yeah, this is the Gems League, guys. They're all competing here. A bunch of amateurs in the Clash Royale scene trying to make a name for themselves. The Mobile Mat and, of course, CWA are the sponsors of the tournament. The quality sounds like it's peaking a little bit. Okay, that's all right. We can adjust that. We'll just bring this down to here. How's that? Is that a little bit better for you guys? Should be. Like I said, we did some adjustments yesterday, so I just want to make sure that it's not too loud for you guys. And obviously, as we get into the gameplay, also going to want to make sure that is not too loud for you. It's something I kind of had to play with a little bit yesterday, so just want to make sure it is good on your guys' end. So, who do we have in this first matchup? Do we have Earn or do we have Clash Royale? You know, both squads here. I'll bring you the lineups once again so you guys can take a look at those. So, there they are. 2 and 3. 3 points each. Lineups here. For Earn, we got the awesome, uncut Bebefan, Guigonal, Gianni, Tom DeHua, Schwarzen, and Toby. For for Clash Royale, we have Aki, Oresti, Ryan GG, Claudio, Destroyer, Nicola, Mushroom, and Gara. So, those are the guys coming out today. Not sure who's going to be in the 2v2 or that 1v1 King of the Hill set yet, but that's one of the best things, one of the most exciting things about watching these live. So how's everyone doing today? We see you got a couple people here in the chat. We got Zach here. He says, I downloaded CR yesterday. I should be able to follow along a little bit better now. Yes, Zach. Yes, dude. That is what I want to hear. I'm glad that we've had you join the light side. I don't want to call it the dark side. I love Clash. So we got Liga Royale in here. We got Zane09. Len Stone is back. Damn, that was loud out of a sudden. I got a fright. So there we go. So hopefully the volume is a little bit better for you guys now. And then the other thing that I was a little worried about is we're going to see what the game volume's like. So like I said, bear with me for just a moment, guys. I'm glad to finally have my iPad going here for watching matches because I'm old. I need my glasses. I can't see what's going on my phone. So, anyway, that's an insight on my life. How you guys doing today? Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, even though all the weeks seem to kind of be blending together these days. So we do have our lineups for 2v2. It's going to be Bebifam and Tom DeHua versus Aki and Mushroom. The bans are going to be the Battle Healer and the Giant Skeleton. So kind of surprised to see the Battle Healer being banned. It hasn't been quite as effective in 2v2, or at least we haven't seen it as much in 2v2. The Giant Skeleton ban is 100% necessity. It needs to happen. It has to be banned. So we're going to go into game number 1 now, guys. And again, please let me know if it's too loud for you. That would actually help if I did this. Alright, guys, so here we go. Rascal's Night Witch at the river. Graveyard in the back. Gonna go hyper aggressive with tons and tons of Swarm Troops, but top of your screen, as you can see, Mushroom and Aki representing PRG. Bebifan and Tom DeHua, bottom of your screen, representing Earn. Dark Goblin does connect on tower. Nice log comes in. Going to hit that Musketeer back. Musketeer is going to be taken off the board by the Prince. Miner in the back, but a little bit of Skeleton love helping out. 1675 to 1983. X the Great Y. Sorry, man. Don't want to make you have to pick. You know, Rich and I streaming at the same time. It's not ideal, but, you know, the internet. The internet's a small place. With Dark Goblin, so it looks like they're trying to go with this kind of old school bait deck that we were talking about before, or we talked about yesterday, where it was like Prince plus Rascals with bait aspects, but then they're also throwing the Graveyard in there. So the hardest thing here for PRG is going to be dealing with the Swarm and making sure that they layer and kind of orchestrate their spells. You know, they want to make sure they use their log and their poison and their fireball to the utmost effectiveness when you're playing against this much bait. So Princess getting cycled to the left-hand lane. Obviously what you want to do here, not give spell value to the right. Dark Goblin placed in a nice spot there. Rascals come in a little bit late. Rascal Girls will take care of the Dark Goblin, but obviously wanted to protect their Princess. That is the name of the game. Protect the Princess. Maybe going to see a poison here on that top right tower. No. Oh, yep, there it is. So now below 1,000 HP, Earn starting to pull away. Need to get a tank, a high tank on top of that. They go Rascals up in the pocket. One Rascal Girl. Oh, wow. No, P.E.K.K.A not focused on the Rascal Girls, both on the Rascal Boy. That was a great use of those Rascals. Now another Graveyard goes down in the back. Dark Goblin is there and a defensive poison, so PRG selling out on defense here. PRG going for a big swing there at the end. 597 remaining. What are those last two cards? Do they have a big spell? Cannon Cart finally comes down for Mushroom. There's the freeze in the back. Ewiz down. Prince on the tower. That is going to do it. Log goes in a very nice game number 1 for Earn. Now, definitely was PRG was coming back there at the end, but just not able to put everything together. So, let us go and make sure our numbers are all good. Hop over here to take a look here. Numbers provided courtesy of Stats Royale. And there you see it, Earn on the left, PRG on the right. PRG looking to go for, it looks like a lot of minor damage, hoping they can maybe sneak some cannon carts through. Skelly Barrel's getting on tower, but I honestly think they maybe need one stronger win condition in their deck, or maybe a couple more big spells, something. I'm not sure. It just seems like they had a lot of trouble getting through onto that tower other than their minor damage, and there was a couple moments where their Dark Goblins broke through, and obviously Skelly Barrels popping are going to give you a little bit, but you know, you see 4 Graveyards coming out from their opponents, and obviously Graveyard is such a heavy win condition. Maybe that's why they were struggling just a little bit. So, we'll see what PRG wants to do here in game number 2 to bounce back. Earn takes game number 1 in the first set here in 2v2. So we are getting that request right now. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about those decks? Do you think that Do you guys think that there was something about, you know, not having a true win condition that really made them struggle? So let me bring the mic down just a little bit more then. So someone's saying it is peaking. And here we go. Game number 2, set number 1, PRG going up against Earn up game 1 here in the first set. Lava Hound in the back. Lava Hound we saw banned yesterday. Didn't really seem to affect the team though that banned them, I believe. But don't quote me on that. I can't remember. So here we go. Aggressive Mega Knight plus Graveyard at the river. Mega Knight gonna get a leap on in. That's a really, really nice exchange there. But on the right-hand side, how will Earn be able to support this Lava Hound? They need to get a little bit more DPS down on the board. They decide to go Miner to the back. Probably gonna get picked up by some high DPS ground unit. There is the Musketeer. It is on the Miner. Log comes down to clean up those guards. Maybe a late snowball. There's the snowball on top of everything. Ewas comes down to help clean it up. And a really, really... you kind of want to say nice defense, but they kind of had to go all out, and they still took a lot of damage. So here we go. Royal Delivery in 2v2. 1294 in the top right, 1712 in the bottom left. Both these guys taking big swings early on. No, I'm using the same mic as always. Wait a minute. Is that better? Or is that still way too loud? I think that's probably too loud. So your Inferno Dragon coming out here. So we'll see if on this Lava Hound push, they decide to put a little bit more DPS behind it other than just the Baby Dragon. It would be nice for them to get a little bit more DPS down on the board, then the Miner to the back of the tower. So there we go. There's the Flying Machine. That's the type of thing that you were kind of expecting to come out the first time, but probably didn't want to overspend on offense. Flying Machine's still up. Gonna get NATO'd all together. NATO's still there. Miner to the back of the tower, and this does feel like it could be tower down. Nope, Baby Dragon distracted. Picked up by the Baby Dragon. One pup on the tower. Miner there as well. 611 to 742. PRG needs to put together an offense the next time they see a big commitment on the right-hand lane. There it is. Lava Hound at the river, go heavy left-hand lane. So they're going to go Mega Knight plus Night Witch in the left and try to use that and only that probably to take the tower. Maybe double down on defense. Nope, never mind. There's the Graveyard. They're sacking the top right, and now they need something big to come in. Ewiz comes down. That should stop everything in its tracks. Lava Hound's obviously going to get a little bit of damage on that King Tower, but nothing to worry about. PRG going to take that bottom left tower in the final seconds, but they are down by about 2 elixir. Skelly Barrel trying to tank for those skeletons, not there. One blue bat there helping out, cleaning up those skellies, mitigating a little bit of damage, and now we are at a very, very even game as we move into this 2-tower situation. So these 2-tower situations are always tough when you're going up against Lava Hound. You see exactly why. They're able to push things down the center of the map, but still go towards the Princess Tower and defend their Princess Tower. So it becomes very, very difficult for your opponents, especially if you're running a Graveyard deck. So the one thing is that they did see an offensive poison come out from Earn, so maybe they go for the Graveyard. Mega Knight in the pocket, Graveyard, who knows? There's the Skelly Barrel, Baby Dragon. Graveyard down. Can't drop a Mega Knight because of that mini P.E.K.K.A. Not a lot for how much was spent, but still enough to defend. Heavy hits here. Lava in the pocket, taking 4 of those pups. Fireball comes in and hits the Musketeer. 1402 in the top left. 2368 bottom right. Not able to get any damages. There's what we were talking about. Mega Knight in the pocket plus a Graveyard and an offensive poison. Baby Dragon at the river, but the Royal Delivery comes down. There's the freeze, and that was a very, very nicely timed freeze. Screaming into the lead is PRG. 101. That's going to be tower down. Woohoo! Wow. Wow, PRG playing the defense of a lifetime, staying alive just long enough so that they were able to mount that final offensive push at the end, and that's the name of the game in moments like that. You got to be incredibly patient when you were playing against that Lava Hound deck, knowing that your graveyard is your win condition. Obviously, you want to get it down, but the problem is in a 2-tower game, when Elixir is flowing like that, you play a graveyard that is easy to defend or in the inopportune situation, and all of a sudden your opponent has a massive counter push. So PRG did a really good job of waiting and defending for as long as they could until they found themselves in a bit of an Elixir lead, and then that's when they pulled the trigger. So really well played as we move into game number 3 here. Just to remind you guys what's going on. We got Earn going up against PRG. We got Battle Healer and Giant Skeleton Band. Whew. What I've been loving about these matches, they've been going the distance. So many of these sets have been going to the distance. Either game 3 here, game 5 in King of the Hill. It's just been so much back and forth. I absolutely love it. All right. I know you guys are getting tired of it, but let's check on that sound again. Let me know how it's sounding here. I'm also going to plug something here in the chat. It's MadCat TV. It's a new streaming platform that is going to be focusing mainly on mobile. I'll be there streaming Clash Royale. I'll be holding tournaments, and I'll also be streaming a little bit of Valorant because, you know, the FPS guy inside wants to get it out, wants to get it on stream. So here we go. Game 3, 2v2. Earn takes game 1. PRG bounces back for a 2-tower game 2. And here we are. Luigi Bro says, "You look so young." Thanks, man. I don't feel very young. Go. P.E.K.K.A coming down right in front of that Inferno Dragon. We're seeing a lot more P.E.K.K.A in the new meta, a lot less mini P.E.K.K.A because of that range decrease. That poison is actually going to do a lot of work for this P.E.K.K.A. Cleans up the bats. P.E.K.K.A should get a shot on that tower. It does. It gets 2 shots on the tower. That is a massive start here for Earn. Miner probably going to go. No, does not go to the Dark Goblin. Get a high Goblin Cage. Poison trying to clean everything up, but it shouldn't. There's the log. Nice log snowball. Going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing near what they just dished out to their opponents. Oh. Maybe I spoke just a little bit too soon. Dark Prince stays alive a little longer than Earn would have liked. 1198 to 852 on the right-hand side of your map. So if PRG decides to Lava Hound up again, I'll be very curious to see how Earn responds. That first time they went same lane, will they go opposite? There we go. Skelly Barrel, left. That's it? Okay. So maybe thinking that first Skelly Barrel they spent was going to put them in a slight hole defensively. They decide to send 1 Skelly Barrel opposite to see if they can bait anything out, and then saving all their Elixir now for defense. Bats demand that Dark Goblin to come out. Dark Goblin cleans up all the bats but 1. Lightning comes down, hits everything off the board. A great E-Wiz. Maybe a snowball comes down. Miner there to pick it up. Great Miner to tank. 726 to 852. PRG will not go quietly into the night, my friend. Miner comes down. Miner poison. Miner goes to the back. Poison up front. Skeletons on the tower in the top right. This should be a 2-tower game. There we go. Back to even, basically. Earn a slight lead. P.E.K.K.A at the river with the barrel behind, Lava Hound in the back. This is a moment for Earn to get a big blow in. Here we go, Miner to the back. Skeletons getting tanked for. Poison on the tower. P.E.K.K.A on the tower. That's going to do it. 669 to 25-34. Just a couple of spells away. PRG needs a miracle. They need divine intervention to somehow put this offense together. I just don't see how it's going to happen. Great cleanup there with the Fireball plus the Musketeer. Earn looking like they're going to take this 2v2 set pretty easily. Both those Skelly Barrels going to drop with the Poison, and that is going to do it. PRG calls out the good game, and honestly, that's exactly what it was. That was a very great back and forth in this 2v2. Earn comes out on top by just a hair based off some really excellent overtime play in the last 2 matches. Obviously, they lost the last one, but still, they played very well. So here we go. Earn takes the first and the third. PRG steals one in the middle. There you see Lava Hound not really working out for them. And a tough spot to be in. If we go back here and we take a look at the standings, let's see here. There we go. Earn, PRG in that 2 and 3 spot. Obviously, this is a really, really big match for PRG. They really want to take this win over Earn, get them in that second place spot. LA Esports obviously going up in the second match of the day. They are playing Zero Zone Academy. Now, anything can happen, but LA Esports is 2-0. Zero Zone is 0-2. So PRG really, really wanting to pick up a win here and kind of try and secure that second place spot. So we got about a 2-minute break, guys, before we move on to the next set. So we'll come over here and say what's up to you. So DG Thunder says, of course you don't feel young. You're older than you've ever been before. This is very true. XIUT says 2 tower games seem rare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about rare. I don't know if rare is the right word. It's just the game completely changes when it gets into a 2-tower game. I mean, a win condition that can be incredibly dominant in a 2-tower game, in a single tower game, can all of a sudden be very ineffective in a 2-tower game. And also in 2v2, because there's obviously 32 or 16 cards on each side, 32 cards in total play. Usually, if the teams are playing pretty well through the first half in single elixir, they'll be able to take a single tower at the end of regulation, usually with spells or something like a miner. So usually do not want to go to 2-tower games in 2v2, but obviously you see there happened 2 games in a row. Earn, PRG, very curious to see who's going to come out in this King of the Hill set. Obviously, King of the Hill is the same as it is in CRL. Each squad gets 3 players. Each player has just 1 life, and of course the first squad to eliminate the entirety of the other team wins the set. And if you are Earn, that's a big, big one. That is a big, big set to win. Do you cast in No Tilt? Asks Luigi. Yeah, so what happened was when No Tilt Worlds was going on, I cast a couple matches, and then I moved, and I got a new computer set up. So right now, I've been hopping in on the weekends and doing voice casting for No Tilt. So we'll just see. We'll just see what happens kind of moving forward. It's just one of those situations where No Tilt Special Edition kind of came at an inopportune moment for me because of moving. But now I'm back. So I'm back casting, back to holding tournaments and stuff like that. So, make sure you follow me on Madcat. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Here we go. Second set, Schwarzen versus Oresti in game number 1. Magic Archer is the ban. Let's go. Let's hop over. Let's check it out. Seems like the sound is better for you guys now. So Heal Spirit, Goblin Cage. This already looks like fun. You see Royal Hogs. Find out. So Lumberjack Minions. Oh, it's going to be Royal Giant. Lumberjack Minions makes me think we could be seeing Ram Rider. Oh, wow. All right. This is what I said yesterday. I said don't make any calls on decks because the meta is new and things are going to make you confused. Wow, that Royal Giant is literally just setting up camp, setting up shop, building a colony, repopulating Earth on the left-hand side of the map, and he takes the entire tower with only losing 200 HP, and Oresti knows that that was a huge, huge mistake. I mean, I just don't know. You can't just completely ignore a Royal Giant. Even if the idea was to go for a tower trade with a Goblin Giant plus Musketeer, I don't know. It just does not seem like the correct decision to make. We go Dark Prince running right into that Lumberjack. Goblin Hut coming down. Gonna mitigate all that damage. Brawler should still be hanging out in the cage for another little bit. Sparky in the back. Here we go. Now, this is an interesting thing, or an interesting moment, because Sparky, we know, time and time again, can steal games with one messed up defense. I like those high skellies to soak the shot. Goblin Giant in response to make sure that Sparky stays healthy. Now, all of a sudden, 16 elixir coming across the river. This could be trouble. Royal Delivery down, soaks up that first Sparky shot, and that was defended about as perfectly as you can do it by Schwarzen. Musketeer going to take that Sparky off the board. Skelly's there to distract the shot once again, and another Sparky comes down for Oresti. This is probably going to be the last real, true offensive push that he can put together with only 43 seconds remaining. So many things to soak up those Sparky shots. The Heal Spirit, the Goblin Hut, the Dark Prince Shield, the Skeletons, the Royal Delivery Shield. All of those things make that Sparky so much more ineffective, or so much less effective. Heal Spirit comes down, trying to pop, trying to keep the Sparky alive, trying to give it legs. Here we go. Goblin Hut is down. Minions on the tower raged up. There's the Musketeer. Got to get on top. Nice surround by the Skeletons. And Oresti actually ends up making this a very, very close game. Where's the zap? Doesn't matter. 92 HP remains. And a ill-advised lack defense to start off this game is really the reason why we find ourselves, I guess Oresti finds himself in such trouble. Trying to refresh the stats here, but I can't imagine these are correct. Is this real life? There's no way. No, these, okay, there we go. I was like, what is going on? Someone's playing a trick on me, so here we go. 2 Royal Giants came down. That was it. 1 in the beginning, 1 in the end. The first one took a tower. The second one was just to kind of play tank and add a little bit of offensive presence on the board. So Earn takes a big, big win here, and they're well on their way to a nice 2-set sweep over PRG. Oresti, I don't know. I'm not really sure what he kind of expected there. I mean, it was too early on. There were not enough cards shown for him to just completely ignore the Royal Giant and then completely commit to a Goblin Giant, Musketeer, minions, Lumberjack early push. It just wasn't really put together well. You really got to kind of orchestrate these pushes, especially Sparky Goblin Giant pushes. If you want to cross the river, take a tower, keep the Sparky alive, use that Heal Spirit so that you can keep that Sparky healthy, maybe get that extra shot in. And also dual lane pressure is something that's really, really important when you are playing a Goblin Giant Sparky deck. You have ways to create a lot of pressure, whether it's with the Lumberjack, Minion plus Heal Spirit, even a naked Sparky going down the opposite lane. There's just lots of way to do it that kind of gets sacrificed when you lose a tower that early on. You don't have the luxury of being able to get that dual lane pressure, which is truly a necessity when you're in those moments of just kind of beating your head into the wall over and over and over. And you see, the deck that Earn had, or that the Earn's representative has, Schwarzen, there were so many cards in there that just directly countered Sparky. So, kind of a tough matchup, but honestly, with the way that first exchange went, you can call it a tough matchup, but there was definitely some misplays there. So, Oresti going to go back to the bench. Next up, we got Nekar, I believe. Oh, no, excuse me. They're saying they've got a little bit of time before, they got 15 seconds before they start the next match. So, officials putting on the pressure. Guys, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit like. Turn on those notifications. I'm going to be back to casting a lot more here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be back to hosting events on Madcat TV. That's madcat.tv/Andrew Guy. And I just heard my door knock. I think that's my new mic. I really hope it's my new mic arm, because this mic arm has been it's been falling apart. Didn't make it through the move. Everything else made it pretty well through the move, but this mic arm has just really, really been struggling. Maybe that's why earlier today during the cast it sounded like I was eating my microphone. But who knows? Could also just be a robber. We'll find out. Stay tuned. So, looks like a little bit of confusion here in the chat, in the clan, as we're trying to get this next game of King of the Hill going. Just to remind you guys, coming up next today, the next matchup, as soon as this is done, we'll probably take a slight break. It'll be LA Esports going up against Zero Zone Academy. Obviously, right now we got Earn going up against PRG. Earn is in a very, very strong lead after taking that 2v2 set 2-1, and they're in a lead in King of the Hill 1-0 on the back of their player Schwarzen at the moment. Zero Zone Academy. I'm so confused. It looks like, maybe someone accidentally opened a match, or someone accepted the match that wasn't supposed to, so they had to play it out. So we're just kind of hanging out, waiting. It's really tough because, this is kind of an inside peek on esports, mobile esports, especially Clash Royale specifically. When Rich and I first started doing casting in the NA and EU regions, we used to watch matches a little bit differently. We used to actually have devices on our desk that we would kind of that we would spectate matches, so we could spectate live, and we were kind of trying to put things together. Still, it was years ago, and In almost every single tournament, there is an official or a caster or a referee or someone who accidentally, or even another player, who accidentally accepts a match instead of spectating. Because you're so used to hitting spectate over and over and over. There's that one time when you do it a little bit early and then the match starts. And what's really, really tough about that is that, you know, you got to wait 5 minutes now. But sometimes the person, one of the two people, doesn't notice, so they play one card. And just that one card being shown means so much. Wow, okay, so it looks like what happened was there was a bug. Schwarzen played Gara. Gara ended up beating Schwarzen. And now Toby is up 4 Urn going up against Gara. So it looks like there was a slight bug. We could go and watch the match because we do have the replay. But unfortunately, the next game is going to start. So really sorry about that, guys. Not really sure what happened there in the clan. They're saying it's just a bug, but we do have the next matchup here. It's going to be Game 3 of King of the Hill. We are now even. PRG takes Game 2. Gara takes down Schwarzen. Like I said, I wish I had a little bit more to tell you guys, but we do not have that game right now. So Toby coming out for Urn. Bottom of your screen. Gara at the top running Hog Rider. So here's Spirit in the back. Maybe we're going to kind of see a play on 2.6. Back around to Hog Rider. There's the nice bar barrel. You like the bar barrel. Bar barrel there, obviously, to protect that Hog Rider from getting the Ice Spirit heal. So nice play there by Toby and a good counter push here. Another Royal Delivery being played. Royal Delivery on both sides of the map. And you really see its utility here. For 3 Elixir, it cleaned all that up. And, you know, conversely for Toby, he used it really effectively as well. So I'm excited to see more Royal Delivery. I think it's a really fun card. I think it's got really cool mechanics behind it. And now with that increased drop time, it makes it so, I don't know, you don't have to be... I mean, you know, catching a bandit with a bar barrel is one thing, but I think trying to catch certain things with the Royal Delivery was almost near impossible. 3 seconds is a really long time. So Hog Rider comes in. Goblin Hut will clean that up with just 1 hit there. There's the punch by the Brawler. That increased damage, making Goblin Hut a really great counter to Hog Rider. So Toby here looking like he could be running maybe a graveyard deck. Does that sound crazy? He's got a lot of defensive capabilities. He's got a lot of tankage, and he's also got great ways to get tanks across the river to tank forward graveyards. So we'll see. Royal Delivery going to push that Hog Rider back. Hog Rider plus Royal Delivery, excuse me, Mega Minion plus Royal Delivery is really good there. It completely mitigates that Hog Rider and creates a really nice counter push. So Dark Prince in the back going to meet this Ice Golem plus Musketeer. We're going to see a Goblin Hut there to pick that up. Goblin Hut placed in a perfect spot. Goblin Brawler should go right, especially with that Ice Golem coming across the lane. So Musketeer going to get a tank. Musketeer going to take out Ice Golem and the other Musketeer and the 3rd Musketeer. Talk about value. Now waiting for that Royal Delivery to come in. There it is. Going to play that and just that on the Hog Rider on the left. Hog Rider comes in and gets a couple hits. Toby doing a pretty good job of kind of, I guess, managing this game, but the only problem is he's not getting his win condition out, and that is, you know, need to do that. So I think really the hat goes off to Gara here for keeping up the dual lane pressure and not allowing Toby to be comfortable enough to put down his win condition. DG Thunderer says a robber would be exciting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Exciting for you, maybe. There's the graveyard finally. Barb Barrel in, Royal Delivery comes down late, cleans up the barb, cleans up some skellies, and now doing work on those graveyard spawning skellies. Hog Rider goes right, gets 2 hits, Musketeer there as well. Gara now in a little bit of trouble in the sense of having to continue to split his damage. He needs to make sure he gets a good amount of damage on that right-hand tower so that he can keep the pressure up, or else Gara is just very, very comfortable playing into the left. So Hog Rider down again. Bar Barrel across, tanking for those skeletons. There is the Earthquake on top of the Gob Hut. Hog Rider gets a few hits in, but Toby's Dark Prince on the right-hand side also gets a few hits in. Exile says moving is tough. 3 weeks until mine. Yeah, man, I definitely don't envy moving, or anyone that has to move anytime soon. So Royal Delivery comes in very late, pushes that Hog Rider back. Really, really nice push. Now the counter push of the Sentry. There's the Graveyard. You knew it was coming. Where is the poison to clean up the skeletons and that bomb tower? There it is, and it feels like this is a unlosable game for Toby in this moment. 163, 736. Toby calls good game, getting the cycle back around as soon as possible. He's got that Royal Delivery locked and ready to go. There's the poison. There's the... Oh, nope, that's not his delivery. There it is. And that is going to do it. Tick, tick away. Toby takes down Gara. Ryan, GG, is the last up here for PRG. Whew, let's refresh these stats. So guys, again, you know, you're seeing it here at the best level. 3 graveyards, not one played in regulation. All played when Elixir was flowing more rapidly. So that's just something, if you find yourself playing graveyard and you've been struggling a lot, you find yourself losing in single Elixir, or you find yourself getting into double Elixir and really struggling or being massively behind in damage, a lot of that can really be because you get a little too aggressive early on. You know, you get too aggressive, you see an opportunity to get one graveyard down in single Elixir, you think you can sneak it in there, and a lot of times with graveyard and single Elixir, you can pay for it. If your opponent defends adequately, let's say they have their Royal Delivery, right? And you do Bar Barrel Graveyard early on in single Elixir, you've got nothing to clean up the Royal Delivery. So it comes down, cleans up half your skeletons off the bat, takes care of the Bar Barrel. Yes, you get in 300-400 damage, but you've also just spent 7 Elixir they defended with 3. So their counter push is going to be massive. So if you guys find yourself struggling in... with graveyard, not even in you know, double or single Elixir, but just with graveyard in general as a win condition, just maybe pump the brakes a little bit. Try to save your... I mean, I did this for a long time in Classic Challenges. I would, even if I had an opportunity, and I knew I had an opportunity, because in Classic Challenges you run up with, you know, some pretty mediocre players. But I like trained myself to just practice to not even ever graveyard till double Elixir, just to see how I would play, just to see if I could get better at defense, and just to see what it was like to not let those because there's definitely moments where when you're trying this out or you're working on this practice, that you'll see moments where you would have graveyarded, and then you'll see how your opponent defended, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad I did not just spend 7 Elixir on something they could have defended with 2. So just something to think about, little food for thought there. Let's see, if you're wondering why I didn't defend the first push, I had no DPS to kill the RG except a Sparky, but there was a Dark Prince in there, so I couldn't really Sparky. Yeah, Oresti, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. Love watching you play, and yeah, you know, starting hand can be really, really brutal. It was one of those moments where your opponent played the exact kryptonite to what you had going. Still, regardless, it was a good match. And, you know, like I said in the call, you looked like you were about to come back there at the end. So well played, my brother, and thanks for hanging out here in the stream. So here we go. Toby, bottom of your screen, representing Earn. Ryan, GG, top of your screen here with some wall breakers, trying to keep PRG alive. XLT says, wait, the teams are in here? I don't know. You know, over the last couple days, we've definitely seen some of the teams and coaches pop in, so that's been cool. Do we see a high kite here opposite lane? No. Is it a sack on the tower? Goblin Brawler, late Goblin Brawler. That was really, really nice use of the Goblin Hut. Obviously, the Mini P.E.K.K.A still gets a hit in. Not a lot of Elixir to defend, but that looked like it was going to be a devastating strike from Ryan. Rayon. So, Golem on tower. Poison. Clean up the Musketeer. Miner plus Mini P.E.K.K.A goes right. Dark Prince there to catch. Mini P.E.K.K.A going to make some good work of this Dark Prince, though. Bar Barrel has to come down. Wall breakers in. That was a very, very nice push. Obviously, he completely ignored the Golem in the top left, so that tower is going to be well below 200 HP. I think he's just going to lose the tower. Bottom right, 1050. So, I don't know. Maybe that minor Mini P.E.K.K.A push was a little bit too much. Or maybe the minor Mini P.E.K.K.A was good and the wall breakers behind was just a slight overcommitment. Luigi Bro says, I hate aggressive graveyard players. So here we go. Kind of a heavy graveyard, or excuse me, Golem deck here, and a nice poison. Cannon Cart does take off the Musketeer, Mega Knight here going to cross the river, but a lot of responses for Toby. And if Toby is able to defend these even remotely efficiently and able to get that Golem down, these big pushes are going to be scary. So what does he need to do right now? Probably pre-cycle something in the right-hand lane. There it is. Mega Minion comes down. Force his opponent to go left so that he can somehow get that Golem to go in the right lane. Ignore the wall breakers. There you go. Dark Prince. No. I don't like that, man. I don't like the Goblin Hut being used there. I mean, he's got the tower down on the left-hand side, so I think he should have just played the Goblin Hut maybe here just to defend the right. So Ewiz comes down. Cannon Cart there tanking for that Mega Knight. Still going to be enough, even with the Miner on the back. So there's the zap. 211 remains. Got to get that Miner back down. There's the Miner to the back. Dark Prince is there to pick it up. Nice pre-Dark Prince there by Toby, and that is going to do it. PRG going to fall in 2 sets. Toby bringing it home for his squad. Doesn't quite get the sweep, but he gets a couple in a row. Shores and started things off really nice there against Oresti, and obviously big shout out to Oresti here in the chat. Thanks for coming by and supporting, brother. And let's go take a look at these stats. So just that one Golem, that was it. The one Golem came down from Toby. It was just a Golem and a Musketeer in the left hand, or excuse me, a Golem and a Poison in the left-hand lane that took that tower down. It was completely ignored by Ryan. You know, Ryan looking to do as much damage, take that tower on the right-hand side. It's interesting because, you know, you understand what he's trying to do. You understand trying to trade towers, but it is odd with this deck. You know, we found, you know, this deck is a little bit different. The Mega Knight can create a little bit more pressure in a 2-tower game, but in general, we found ourselves, wall breakers as a win condition really struggle in 2-tower games. So, you know, a lot of times when you're watching pros play, they really, really want to keep that tower up. They really do. And kind of a surprise there from them in that sense. But you know what? He must have had a game plan. He must have thought that if, you know, he was going to sack that tower on the left, he was going to be able to get enough going on in the right-hand lane, and then saw that he had at least a decent chance in a 2-tower game. But, you know, Toby's deck was just so heavy when that elixir started flowing like crazy, and obviously being down a tower already, a really, really tough position to play from. So, slowest Golem tower take ever, says DG Thunder. Oresti says, I mean, I'm out already, so thought I could come here and support the team. Hey, or the stream. Hey, thanks so much, man. Definitely appreciate it. And you know what? We've all had bad games. We've all had really rough starting hands, so I feel for you. I really, really do. Didn't trust the Dark Prince. He had time to prevent the tower death. Must be for a good reason. Exile, you talking about in the top left? You talking about when the Golem went down, or when the Golem took the tower originally? So we'll see what he says there. So guys, next up here, we got our number 1 and our number 4 squad going up against each other, and here are the positions to remind you guys. Once again, Earn now 2-1, PRG 1-2, Zero Zone Academy at the bottom here, 0-2. Really looking for that first win, maybe at least just to climb out of last place, play Dream Ruiner here for LA Esports, but most likely we will see LA Esports and Earn moving on throughout the tournament, competing for that cash prize, and of course, a little bit of notoriety there in the pro scene. Hopefully get some attention of pros, coaches, who knows. Someone pick me up. So here we go. Match 2. And let's take a look at those lineups for the day. LA Esports, Justrugi. I've actually seen that name before, so we'll see if we get to see him play it all today. LA Hugo CR, Intox, Eunice, Shadow, Viper, Reichert, and Dominic. Going up against Zero Zone, Luis Predator, Fernie Jr., Zabi, oh yeah, I don't know, Zabi, Aggressive, Arnix, Leggy, Hosky, and Chet Ifel God. It's going to be funny one day when one of these guys goes pro, and there's going to be this stream on the internet of me just completely butchering their name. So future star, I apologize. You can clip this out and embarrass us all later on, and by us all, I mean myself. So, looks like Sound's doing well. We're just waiting on the second team to join up here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break, go have a little bit of coffee, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes just to give you a look at your lineups once again. There you go. Give me 2. I'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave these lineups on the screen for you for just a moment so you guys can actually see what we got going on here, because I just got our 2v2 lineups. It's going to be Hugo CR and Intox versus Zoxaby and Predator. Again, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry about butchering your names. I promise you I am trying. So here we go. Match 2. Set 1. Game 1 of 2v2. Let's do this. Wallbreaker split early. Cycled log. Not ideal. Wallbreaker reconnect on that right-hand side. So already a nice little start here. Just to let you guys know, who's who, Zero Zone at the top of your screen. LA Esports at the bottom. Probably gonna be able to figure that out with LA Hugo, but you never know, you never know. Fireball gonna clean that firecracker up. Lumberjack meets the Dark Prince. So, very, very quick cycles on both sides of the board right now. Been seeing a ton of Dark Goblin in 2v2, which I think is great. One of the best cards in 2v2. Cheap, so much DPS, hard to get off the board, got a spell out, and a great, great graveyard cleanup. And also the ability to drop it in the opposite lane and provide a ton of DPS on the lane that you want. So, you know, you can obviously drop your Dark Goblin left and still defend right with it. Nice high bats there, going to clean up that Brawler, mitigate it 100% for a good trade. And Poison, going to clean up that Dark Goblin. So crazy since the change in the meta here. We have not seen a lot of Tornado, and we have not seen a lot of, I mean, obviously Tornado and Giant Skeleton are banned in this set, but just the idea that we just haven't seen a lot of it, even in 1v1. You know, Magic Archer was banned in the last King of the Hill. So Rocket here, taking that moment to get this Musketeer off the... Ooh! Oh, yeah. Yeah, Predator feeling the heat after that. You do not want to Chief Pat a Rocket in single elixir in 2v2. Will they pay for it? There's the Fireball in to clean up the Dark Goblin. There's the freeze. That is a very healthy balloon with the freeze support, and that's going to be towered down. Oh my goodness. Do you wish you had that rocket back, Predator? So now, keeping up the pressure. King Tower getting tanked for by the old balloon. Lumberjack tanking for this balloon. There's the rocket on both. Rage in. A very nice rocket, but Musketeer and Dark Goblin in the pocket on the tower doing a ton of work. So this will be a 2-tower game, but LA Esports in a dominant lead right now. Mega Knight in the back, trying to build this tower push. Put it all together. Nice log there. Drop the shield, keep the Firecracker at bay. Zap comes down, cleans it all up. High Lumberjack on the Dark Prince. Bats do come in to try to support. Dark Goblin high on top of the opponent's Dark Goblin. Skeleton Barrow there, keeping the Dark Goblin at bay. Now getting tanked for by the Mega Knight. Dark Goblin gets a couple shots in. That was not ideal for our boys. Zero Zone. There's a rocket again. Rocket hits both the balloons this time. Predator trying to make up for that mistake early on, but it's too little, too late. Double balloon drop, and Predator not happy about what he did there. I mean, we've all had it happen to us before. You know, you miss a rocket, but the worst thing you can do is miss a rocket in single elixir in 2v2, man. I mean, I hate to make it sound that bad, and I hate to just keep kind of, you know, ragging on you for it, but that's my job, and that's one of the things that was the clear deciding moment in that game. The missed rocket doesn't take the Musketeer off the board. And here's the thing. Even though it misses the Musketeer, it's not like the Musketeer was the reason that they took the tower. It's also the kind of the mentality behind it. You have just shown your opponent that you are down a ton of elixirs. So even if, let's say, you're able to kind of adequately defend a normal push in that moment, even if you were down the elixir and your opponent didn't know. So now, let me try to clarify that. The fact that your opponent now knows that you're down elixir, they're going to go for these big swings that they wouldn't have before. And that's exactly what happened there in that game. So a very, very quick reset here into game number 2. Zero Zone trying to shake that one off. LA Esports capitalizes on a massive mistake in game 1. Fireball in. Hits the Musketeer this time. Predator probably never going to miss a spell again in the Gems tournament. Fireball down. Pushes that into the range of the Musketeer of LA. Really, really nice use of mechanics there. Musketeer meets Ewiz, nice log there. A lot of great uses of mechanics throughout LA's first minute here in 2v2. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot, but there's a lot of these small interactions that they're making these decisions on that, you know, a lot of people might not even pay attention to if they weren't of higher level. You know, you look at some of that stuff and they're just using all their effects elixir as efficiently as possible, getting the most out of their high DPS cards, getting a little bit of tower damage here and there. But, you know, Zero Zone here technically in the lead. Luigi Bro says, good analysis, Andrew. Thank you, brother. GG Thunder says, I don't even know if that was a good rocket. Even if it killed the Musketeer, do you want the -2 trade in single elixir? Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more after this game. Wow! Holy! Guys, I found a unicorn! Just kidding, it's an Expo in 2v2. Now, we've definitely seen this work out before. I think we saw Pain Gaming use it a couple times in CRL West. But very, very difficult to get a lot out of an Expo in 2v2. Usually it's going to be double Expo. Obviously, there's so many, you know, spells on the board. There's, you know, it used to be Earthquake all the time. There's a lot of tanks. There's just so many ways to get to the Expos and kind of defend them. String along the defense, you know, Skeletons, Heal Spirit, Defensive Miner, Goblin Hut. You know, there's all these ways to keep an Expo at bay. So there's the Mega Knight. You got to drop a card in between a Goblin Hut popping, because from the Goblin Hut to the Brawler, an Expo will target your tower. So Expo stays on the map a long time, ends up getting a lot of Fireball value for LA Esports. I don't know, maybe the Expos will be able to provide enough defensive utility that they're able to get a substantial elixir lead. But as of right now, they are ahead in this stalemate. There we go, Balloon, Freeze. Dark Goblin gets cleaned up by a very, very nice log. Expo down once again. There is the second Expo. So they did decide to go double Expo. We have seen this work before. Greatly timed Mega Knight there. Picks up, or dropped after the Goblin Hut picks up. So now Mega Knight tanking for that Expo and the P.E.K.K.A. A lot coming in here. Have to use an aggressive offensive balloon. A rocket comes down. Predator making up for that mistake. Rocket in game 1. And again with the Fireball, Expo connects on the tower. That was an excellent sequence put together by Zero Zone. And honestly, Predator putting things together with some great, great spells. Dark Goblin high. Dark Goblin tanking for your Expo. You never want that. Lumberjack in, Musketeer not focusing on this Expo. Zero Zone doing such an excellent job of protecting their Expos, making it so difficult for LA Esports to get their high DPS on top of that. An odd Fireball there from Predator. Maybe it'll end up being okay. He does hit the Musketeer and he hits the Princess Tower. Fireball comes in here from LA Esports in response. 1210 to 1075. 26 seconds left, trying to get as much spell value down as they can. Honestly, maybe a defensive Expo on the opposite lane would have been a better decision in that moment, because they still would have had a way to pull the balloons to center with the Teslas. Not 100% sure, but we'll find out here in just a few seconds. Miner to the back, Skeleton's there to pick up. E-Wiz on top, Mega Knight leaps on through. That is massive. LA Esports going to steal this in the final seconds. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, you cannot continue to play Expos in that lane. You gotta go opposite. You gotta go defensive Expo. Because not only does your opponent have, they're still just going to keep doing the same thing at the river over and over and over, but the idea that your Expo is going to connect that late in the game I think it's flawed. I don't think your Expo is going to connect that late in the game. Obviously, it can, and that would be excellent, but that's the number one thing your opponent is trying to stop. So what instead? Why not get a defensive Expo on the other side of the map? You still got Teslas to pull the balloon. You still got spells to knock the balloons around, but that defensive Expo on the other side really, really helps with all the ground support. Whether it's the Lumberjack, whether it's the Mega Knight, even an Ice Golem, it doesn't matter. Just need a little bit more DPS on the ground. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure that would have worked out, but in my mind, I think it should have went defensive Expo, opposite side, and then continued to play defense and get spell value down on the tower. They had more spell power in their hand. They had Rocket, Fireball, Snowball, Log. They had so many responses to get damage on that tower, and they were seconds away. So really, really nice set there by LA Esports. Tough spot here. Tough spot here for Zero Zone. If you look again here, LA Esports at the very top, 2-0. Zero Zone bottom, 0-2. And, that's a big first set for them to drop. Pressure is on. You don't want to go 0-3 to start off your first 3 matches. Let's go to the live chat here and talk about DG Thunderer really quick. So GG Thunder says, I don't even know if that was a good rocket. Even if it killed the Musketeer, do you want the -2 trade in single elixir? We've seen it go both ways. And, at the pro level, there's moments. I mean, it's tough here because we're online, so they're not standing next to each other speaking with one another. But we've definitely seen it happen at the pro level where, they drop rockets early on for negative trades to get tower damage and clean up a DPS unit. But that's also being done with the, kind of the stamp of approval from your partner. And also that stamp of approval means that your partner can defend adequately what's coming down the lane. They're feeling really strong about you being hyper aggressive because they have enough cards in their hand to defend any type of push, whether it's a graveyard or a balloon or a hog rider, like they're ready to go. So I don't know, man. It feels like it was, obviously hindsight's 2020. You look at that, you look at them losing the game, and you look at what their opponents did the second that rocket dropped. I'm just really curious to know even if that rocket did take off the Musketeer, do they still do the same push? Because they now know they've got a Mega Knight to tank for their balloons, and their opponents have no great way to get damage on top of those balloons. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my thought. I think it was a bad rocket all the way across the board. Maybe just getting a little excited. But I don't know. Maybe if he came in here, if our boy Predator was in here, he could kind of maybe tell us his thought process. So, second set coming up in just a minute. It is King of the Hill. Magic Archer is going to be banned along with Bomb Tower. We're going to get going in just a moment here. And Exile UT says down in the chat, Mad Cat after the stream. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be streaming Mad Cat today, but I will start streaming 100% next week if I haven't done it by this weekend. Like I said, getting back into streaming and very excited about it. So here we go. King of the Hill, game 1. Fernie, top of your screen. Destrug on the bottom. Destrui. I don't know. So we see Heal Spirit and Ice Golem already. Could be Lumberloon Cycle. Could be Royal Hogs. Could be something completely different since the meta changed. It's feeling more and more like the latter. Actually, I can't even remember which one I said first. Feeling like Balloon. Royal Hogs, yeah, there they are. I was like, no, the Hunter's usually with the Hogs, so there we go. Royal Hog split in the center. Heal Spirit behind on the right-hand side gets a lot of damage in there. And then from Fernie, we're seeing a Night Witch, a Baby Dragon, and a Goblin Hut. So, I don't know. Could be something beefy. Firecracker cleans up that Ewiz. Earthquake gonna come in, allow one hit to come from that Firecracker. Would have been nice to get that Earthquake down a second earlier. Firecracker stays alive and helps out with his Night Witch, but can't have everything. So there's Ice Golem and Mega Knight to respond. You get a wow. And, ooh, the poison down. Poison, though, does activate King Tower, so not ideal there for Fernie. And those barbs, honestly, doing a pretty good job. But that King Tower activation going to mitigate a little bit of damage. Nothing insane, but just not ideal. So, bottom of your screen, Colin, good game. Fernie agreeing. He decides to Mega Knight, not on the Royal Hogs. Maybe that's what the WoW was all about. Knowing that his opponent had Royal Hogs. Using the Mega Knight to go hyper-aggressive. And the missed poison on King Tower. Nothing kind of landing for Fernie. Nothing landing for Zero Zone in these moments. Hog Rider left. Or excuse me, Royal Hogs left. Mega Knight once again. Heavy push here on the right. But you've got a Firecracker and a Hunter to defend. And honestly, that's enough. Those two cards are so frustrating to play against. And the Hunter does so much single target damage. Fernie now just has to laugh. You know, he's at 33 on one, 179 on the other. He's just calling it. He's just forfeiting. Sacrificing the tower, leaking the elixir. Gonna get 3 crowned. And a very rough start to the day for Zero Zone Academy. LA Esports continuing to show their dominance here in our second match of Group C. Looking like it's going to be Earn and LA Esports moving on from Group C as we work towards the playoffs. Sorry, that's not what we wanted. You guys are supposed to see that. That's for me. So there you go. That's not right. There we go. That looks a little bit more correct, doesn't it? So, you see there, no graveyards ever coming out here from Fernie. And we called it early on with all those cards coming down. You knew it was going to be a heavy deck. You see there, 4.3 is the average elixir. 14 elixir to get back around in your cycle. That's almost double of his opponent. How are you going to keep up with that, especially if you're using your Mega Knights to support your offense, as opposed to defending the Royal Hogs and then Mega Knighting on a counter push. You know, defending your Royal Hogs with a Mega Knight and then using that for a counter push. Obviously, split Hogs in the beginning, being an elixir deficit, doesn't help, doesn't make things great. But I just feel like there was a lot of misplays there by Fernie, you know, completely exploited by his opponent. So here we go, Messiah at AK Syndicate on Twitter. What is that snow dude? Oh, that's the Ice Golem, one of the best cards in the game. It's one of those interesting cards, though, like at a lower level, or if you're a newer player to the game, you don't understand why this 2 elixir kind of tank is good. Doesn't do a lot of damage, doesn't really ever get to tower. But when you see pros use it, he's the master of kiting and, of course, creating great positive elixir trades. So here we go, Luis. Feeling the heat already. Magic Archer ban Bomb Tower. Ban Zero Zone Academy. Down 1 set. Down 1 player here in set number 2. And an aggressive Hog Rider start things out. Going to get a couple swings in. Battle Ram. Minions right. Mini P.E.K.K.A left. There's the skeletons there to soak up the barbs. And an Ice Golem to come down. There you go. Ice Golem showing its worth once again. Mini P.E.K.K.A going to get on through and hit that tower. You've been watching No Tilt. That's free pancakes, baby. Every time Mini P.E.K.K.A goes coast to coast unsupported, it's all about them free pancakes. Is that real? No. Did I make it up? Why? So, Hog Rider maybe to kite. There it is. Hog Rider comes out low and early, and that's a great kite on that Royal Ghost. You see going all the way back. Now, maybe we're going to see a high Ice Golem plus Bats, or high Ice Golem plus Firecrackers. Nope. Instead, he goes Mini P.E.K.K.A. Nice use of the Mini P.E.K.K.A. And he gets a couple oopses out. Maybe he meant to play the Ice Golem. Not sure. Going to be very close to getting back around soon. Maybe we see a sellout push here on the right. Or do we just see a couple cycle cards? Yeah, there we go. And then maybe we see an Ice Golem high to kite the P.E.K.K.A. And then maybe Bats to support, but he's got to worry about how his opponent is going to support this P.E.K.K.A. So there you go. The kite is there, but minions come in to grab the Bats. Mini P.E.K.K.A is down, but he needs something else to help with those minions. So minions cleaned up. Mini P.E.K.K.A helps out. The Battle Ram does get a good amount of damage in, and the minions kind of clean up a little bit more there to bring it down to 17-10. Do we see a Hog Rider get in front of this? Nope. Got to defend on the right. So there's the Ice Golem. Going to kite the Royal Ghost, but not the P.E.K.K.A. Zap comes down. King Tower activated, top side of your screen. P.E.K.K.A gets a swing on the bottom right. That's a big swing. So now, bridge spam doing what it does best, creating that dual lane pressure. We're going to start to see really cheap, really aggressive pushes here. So there we go. P.E.K.K.A, E-Wiz left. Do we see Battle Ram minions right? Ice Golem Kite. Luis playing this very, very slow right now, making sure that he has enough elixir in his hand to defend that tower on the top left at 833. Wanting to probably try to get as much attention as he can from his opponent on that right-hand tower. A rocket comes down, and that is a big-time rocket. Mini P.E.K.K.A almost goes coast to coast. 976, 401. Bandit on the tower. Minions behind to support. Royal Ghost coming in. Battle Ram behind. What will be there? Destroy calling good game, knowing there's no way to get damage on top of that Battle Ram. And Luis evening things up here in game number 2. That was excellent. That was a really, really fun match to watch. Again, was it the Rocket, guys? Is the Rocket the enemy or the friend? The Rocket... No, it wasn't the Rocket. I don't think it was the Rocket. Bridge spam. Brutal. All the responses there. Now, you know, obviously there's the Ice Golem Kite to kind of control that P.E.K.K.A, but, you know, the poison and the zap really make it tough for the Firecracker and the bats and skeletons to be super, super effective. Especially because you can just hold your zap for those bats. You know, skeletons are a little bit more trivial, and then obviously you can just hold that poison for the Firecracker. Firecracker, one of the most frustrating cards in the game. If you've only got one way to get it off the board, you use it, and that poison was saved for that Firecracker quite a bit. 3 poisons, 6 Firecrackers out. Game 2 here going to 0 zone. Their first game win of the day here against LA Esports. They need to pull off a complete set sweep here in King of the Hill and 1v1. They've only got, I think it was one more game in hand that they can drop before they are eliminated. So a very, very tough spot to be in, but we've seen people come back from way worse. How's everyone doing in the chat? Wow, I thought Destroy had that after the Rocket came out, but there wasn't any good way to deal with the Ram. Ice Golem's only 2 elixir. Yes, sir. Kiting Mega Knight or P.E.K.K.A to opposite lane is so strong. 100% agreed. Ice Golem is one of the best things. I mean, honestly, that is its best utility. It's just the kite. That and using its burst to kill swarm troops, like bats and skellies. So here we go. Luis, top of your screen, representing 0 zone Eunice. Eunice, I think. Up next here for LA Esports. Hog Rider meets that Goblin Hut. Goblin Hut going to mitigate 100% of that damage when placed in the correct spot right there. There's the punch just in time. And a Lava Hound goes down in the back. Eunice decides to Lava Hound up, knowing that the biggest win condition is now out of play for Luis. And so he gets a poison down to clean up, which is nice, you know. It's a 4-for-4 trade. And an Inferno Tower, not what Eunice wanted to see there. And you see kind of the perplexed Hog Rider coming out. Not what he expected. So Baby Dragon may be a little bit aggressive. Goes Royal Delivery in the back. Spear Goblins in the center here. Not where you wanted those Spear Goblins to go. Baby Dragon on the tower, tanking, getting tanked for by that miner. And those belches, yes, doesn't have as much HP, but that damage still hurts. So a great Bar Barrel plus Goblin Hut going to come in here. Should mitigate most of the damage. Maybe we see one Hog Rider swing. Yes, we do. The slow from the Ice Golem assisting in that. So Log plus Bats have to come down and help out to clean off the Barb Barrel since it's taken for that Gob Hut. Usually, or for the Gob Brawler, usually Bats up high at the river will just clean up the Brawler on its own for a nice trade. So Hog Rider, Spear Goblins on the right-hand side. Gonna get a lot out of this. Hog Rider gets one more, no, doesn't get the last swing, but does take those Spear Goblins for a while to clean up all the support troops and bring that tower down below 1200 HP. Inferno Tower there once again. Eunice has to figure out a way to get that Inferno Tower distracted. And I'll tell you right now, I think the best way to do it is to put guards at the river in front of your Lava Hound, maybe just to help support ground troops, and then get a bar barrel in on top of the Inferno Tower. The guards are there maybe just to kind of help out, but you see here he has to use them defensively. If he wants to get that Inferno Tower off the board, he needs to get the bar barrel on top of it. And Hog Rider down again. Baby Dragon there. Gob Hut does come down in time. And now you see a naked Inferno going left-hand lane. Miner to the front. Bar barrel down. It's going to be easy, easy cleanup for that Ice Golem plus Spear Goblins. And you see there an oops from Eunice. Now Viper going to be the last person up for LA Esports. Zero Zone coming back to life here in this King of the Hill set on the shoulders of Luis. Playing some clean Clash Royale. Oh no. Where is it? That's not the right one. That's not the right one. There we go. Eunice. Luis. 6 Hog Riders come out for only 2 Lava Hounds. You see there 3.9 is the average elixir as opposed to 2.9, a whole elixir. And obviously cycle gets back around in just 8 as opposed to 12. And you see 2 Lava Hounds, 2 Inferno Towers. Game, set, and match. Eunice needed to figure out a way to defend his Lava Hound from those Inferno Towers. And like I said, I don't know what the best answer to that is. It's easy for me to say, you know, you place guards high and maybe they get in front, and then you go bar barrel at the river, you know, towards the center of the map to try to get on top of that. So maybe even if the guards don't, then you got the bar barrel there. Or in a perfect world, the guards tank for a second, then the bar barrel tanks, and then the guards get on top with the Lava Hounds. So again, hindsight's 2020. It's really easy for me to sit here and say, you know, this will probably work. But I do know that what was, you know, those offenses that he was putting together were not working. And I think the biggest part of it was just not being able to get anything in between the Inferno Tower and the Lava Hound itself. Whew. So delivery. Did I say Royal Recruit? I don't know. 3 hits. Wow. Oh, yeah. 3 hits on the Hog. Yeah. Hog Rider hits are incredibly devastating. So here we go, guys. Last up here for LA Esports in King of the Hill, it's going to be Viper going up against Luis. Again, to remind you, Magic Archer and Bomb Tower are the bans on the day. This is LA Esports in Zero Zone. King of the Hill, Game 4. So Luis going very cheap already. And getting out a little bit of BM. That's one thing we haven't seen a ton of here in the Gems Cup is BM. We've seen a little of it. Wow. Interesting. Could it be? Is it 2.9? It's looking like all pieces, but we have seen the swerve. So there you go. There it is. It is going to be Expo 2.9. Very fascinating. I have not seen Expo in a very long time in competitive head-to-head play. Obviously, you know, we saw it a little earlier today in the 2v2 set, but, you know, 2.9, one of the strongest archetypes, one of the strongest decks in the game, one of the most played, revered, and difficult decks. You know, people like to hate on Expo a lot, but I've tried to play 2.9, I've tried to push ladder on it, and it's just not as easy as you think it will be. Now, one thing I will say is that once you've figured out all the interactions and you figured out what you're supposed to do in specific matchups, it does become a lot easier, but that's to be said with any deck. So here you go, Cannon Cart coming in late after the Dark Prince takes up that first initial tankability. Tankage, Cannon Cart right on top of that Expo. Great use of the Cannon Cart. Gonna be really tough here for Luis to break through. You know, Viper's got the Goblin Hut, he's got the Dark Prince, he's also got the Cannon Cart, Poison, and the Bar Barrel. All those things gonna be pretty adequate responses to an Expo. And even if they're not just direct responses, they're just gonna make it that much more difficult for the Expo to get through. Every single one of those cards I said has pretty good health. So double elixir time upon us. Now is the time for us to start seeing these Expos come out offensively. We'll see. There's the Golem. Nice log there to push the Golem behind so the Mega Minion sneaks up front. Bar Barrel comes in, Cannon Cart behind. This is a beefy push. Needs to get down some sort of air support unit. Instead goes Dark Prince. I was thinking maybe an E was to go behind to clean up some splash shoots, but instead goes Dark Prince to clean up all those skeletons. And an Ice Golem has to come out to keep the archers alive and keep that splash damage from the Dark Prince off that Princess Tower, because the cannon, the broken down cannon, was tanking for that Dark Prince. So Viper here now finding a moment to Golem up with a defensive Expo plate in the left-hand lane. This is a big moment for both squads. If you play Expo 2.9 a lot, however, this shouldn't be that difficult to defend. You know, there's only the poison to get on top of those Expos, as opposed to a very large spell like an Earthquake that obviously does more damage, or a poison, or excuse me, a lightning. So E-Wiz on the tower does get taken off there at the little bit. At the end, Golemite's getting on through 1190. Cannon Cart putting in work. Viper almost unscathed with only a minute and a half remaining. And yeah, Golem versus Expo is not easy for Expo. 150%, especially this Golem version with all these other responses to get on top of that Expo. And then, of course, you know, the idea that you can just play a Golem up high and in the center to tank for either side of the map and keep that Expo at bay just makes it very difficult here for Luis. And one of the biggest reasons, you know, we were talking about it yesterday a little bit about overtime and lowest single tower, and one of the biggest reasons why that became a thing was because of this deck specifically. If you had bad matchups with Expo before, you were able to kind of just draw the game out, whereas now you have to play a little bit more aggressive because you need to get damage on that tower. Dark Prince going to get on through, and that's going to be it. Viper going to take game number 4 here. Expo 2.9. Not even a chance. Viper, Predator, game 5, King of the Hill. Zero Zone up against the ropes, facing elimination. And, you know, this is a great moment for Predator to come back, kind of redeem himself after that struggle there in 2v2. 3 Golems came down, 5 Cannon Carts. Cannon Cart's such a great response to, of course, the Expo, being able to get a tank up in front. Or, if you don't have a tank and all you got is 5 Elixir in your hand, you can drop it right there at the river. It's got the range to get the Expo. It's got the tank ability to tank for at least some of it. Now, when it does go from Cannon Cart to Broken Down Cannon, it will get a target on your tower. So that's why you got to make sure you've got something, at least, you know, anything cheap ready to go. But the combination of, like, Dark Prince plus Cannon Cart, or Goblin Cage plus Cannon Cart, makes it very, very difficult to break through. So, guys, game 5. Who's going to do it? Is LA Esports just going to complete the sweep here, the 2-set sweep? Or are we going to go to King of the Hill? We got Viper and Predator. Who you got? Let me know. Get your throw it in the chat. I must know. Just doing a couple little housekeeping things here. All right. 60 seconds before we get going. Hop over the chat and see what you guys have to say. All right, here we go. Game 5. LA Esports trying to close this one out. What's my battery doing on this guy? No. I'd be shocked. Absolutely shocked and almost appalled if we saw 2.9 again. Hog Rider. Maybe we see 2.6. Seems odd to see such classic archetypes at this point in the game, but we'll see if he changes it up a little bit. As of right now, though, it's just looking like straight up 2.6. Viper here, Bandit and Mega Minion so far. Let's see what his big card is. Might be something to meet that Hog Rider. Got it. So we're seeing signs of Ram Rider, we're seeing signs of Sparky. Honestly, even seen this makeup with Graveyard before, so let's see what they do. Fireball comes in, gets a little damage on that tower. Barbell mitigates that Musketeer. Predator is just going straight up Expo 2. Hog Rider 2.6. There's the P.E.K.K.A in the back. Trying to hold that. I was like thinking it could be P.E.K.K.A, but then I was wondering why he never played it to meet those hog or to meet the hog. But I guess he would rather just create this pressure, this dual lane pressure. So Viper does have a lot of great responses to this deck. Obviously, P.E.K.K.A and Ewiz just alone will be a great stop to the Hog Rider and an insane counter push. So Poison going to clean that Musketeer off the board. Bandit here to meet this Ice Golem just in case he was going to support with a Hog Rider, but Predator decides not to and leaks a little bit of Elixir there. Hog Rider comes down. Log comes in to keep that Bandit healthy, or keep that Bandit at bay and keep the Musketeer healthy. Spirit comes in. See P.E.K.K.A in the back. Now we might see Hog Rider go left, so that's why you see the Bandit from Viper come down in the left-hand lane, just make it more and more difficult for Predator to figure out a place to send his win condition. And now with the P.E.K.K.A, or the P.E.K.K.A crossing the river, this is where the dual lane pressure is really starting to come in. So we got P.E.K.K.A, Miner, Poison, obviously, here going against Hog Rider 2.6. Miner on the tower. Now we just need a Poison. There's the Poison. Miner on the tower. Getting tanked for by that P.E.K.K.A. Musketeer obviously focused on the Miner, but good amount of Miner chip damage coming in. Bandit demands a Fireball. Now, 2 Elixir in the hole is Predator. Enough Elixir to get that P.E.K.K.A back on the ground, so we'll see if he decides to respond to the next Hog Rider with the P.E.K.K.A. Musketeer in the back. Just going to cycle something in the back. There you go, Dark Prince. Does not quite back around to Poison. There's the P.E.K.K.A at the river. Going to tank for everything here. Hog Rider goes opposite, but Hog Rider going to get met with an Ewiz. There's the Ewiz. Fireball comes down. P.E.K.K.A still taken for that Dark Prince. Dark Prince taken off the board just in time. Great log there from Predator. 992. Misses the Bandit, hits the Mega Minion. Skeletons maybe. Nope, Ice Golem instead. So now maybe we see an aggressive P.E.K.K.A at the river, opposite lane. Bandit on the tower. Bandit on the tower, bringing that down to 1190. Now you can go the same lane. There you go. P.E.K.K.A in the same lane. 707 to 1190. Now giving Poison value. Miner going to go to the back. Cleaned up. No way to clean it up with the Skeletons. That is a huge, huge moment. Viper making the exact correct decision when he got that hit on the left-hand side. That's going to do it, guys. Poison in on. Dark Prince going to get that charge through, and LA Esports completes the 2-set sweep on the shoulders of some great play by Viper. You saw a couple people talking about there in the chat. Obviously not the greatest matchup in the world for Predator, but very, very well played nonetheless by both of these gentlemen. LA Esports 3-0, coming out on top. Viper picking up those last 2 with a great bridge spam deck here. Kind of. Obviously, P.E.K.K.A Miner Poison is the real traditional word for it, but you see, obviously, the P.E.K.K.A, the Dark Prince, and the Bandit going to be able to create a lot of pressure there at the river. Hog Riders, 7 Hog Riders came out, but becomes incredibly frustrating when you're playing against this deck. You know, the Ewiz can keep it at bay, and of course, the P.E.K.K.A being dropped right on top of it. And then, you know, worst case scenario is you get a Bandit that dashes into it, and you get a couple swings from a Hog Rider. So all those are decent responses. So guys, that's it. One more day in the books. Let's take a look over here at the positions. You see LA Esports Mountain moving up to 3-0. Esport Earn now 2-1. PRG and Zero Zone both pick up losses on the day, so not great for either of them. And I'll pull up those results for you guys right now so you can take a look. Here are the results for match 1. See the way that the sets went. It was a nice Earn picked up game 1 and 3 in that 2v2 set. PRG really put the pressure on him in game 2, but just not able to do it. And then, of course, in King of the Hill, it was pretty much a one-sided matchup. And then you see match number 2, Zero Zone. Does pick up a couple wins in King of the Hill, but otherwise it's 5-2-2 on the day. LA Esports extending their lead here in Group C. Guys, there we go. We did Group A, B, and C. We did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been a great, great week of streaming. I tried the Hog NATO deck. It's actually pretty hard. No, it really is. Let's see. I'm hoping for King of the Hill just because it's fun to watch. The cannon cart was used so effectively against the Expos. Yeah, it really, really was. And then Viper playing. Yep. So guys, that's gonna do it. We got all of our matches in the books for the day. I don't think I'm gonna be streaming today. Tomorrow I'm usually always off from streaming. I'll probably be back next week for the rest of some, or at least some more of the Gems tournament if they'll have me. And I know that my good friend Cashman was talking about doing a little bit of streaming, a little bit of live streaming here for casting is what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for this tournament. So maybe we'll see some of him next week. But if not, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at AndrewGuy. And if you guys can, please go and follow me on madcat.tv/AndrewGuy. I'm going to start holding some tournaments on there, streaming Clash Royale and, of course, Valorant. Big shout out to Mobile Matt and CWA. And, of course, my good friend Gagarto, who's been helping me figure out all the technical ins and outs of this beast. So, guys, thank you again for joining me for the Gems Tournament. I'm Andrew Guy. I'll be here again next week. Enjoy your day. Play some Clash Royale. Maybe at me on Twitter. Who knows? Have a good day, guys. I'll see you very, very, very... Should I say it again? Do you guys want me to say it again? Very soon. All right. Bye.